so. Okay, so we open it up and then bring up the chickens. Nope. Nope. Hot broody. Cold wet tiles. This one. This one.
You're talking
It's the
to
most
me, I
recent
can't hear you.
broody.
Got my
Talking
phone
to the
up.
phone, not you.
Oh.
Black one looks like it's on its way to not broody. It looks mean. It's not mean, it's the only way to stop them from being broody is to cool them down. So my intention is to leave them out here on the cold wet tiles. I'm going to let them get wet, and then later I will cover them with one of those plastic tablecloths I took off and load a couple of logs on there to weight it down and leave them there overnight. I shall bring up some food and water later, but at the moment I just want to cool them down to try and stop them from lingering in the shed, because they'll just go on for weeks. And if you don't break them, if you don't want to have chicks, if you don't want eggs to be hatched, then this is what you have to do. It's quite funny. It's quite funny. That cage has been in the coop, and they settle down every night in it. And when you see them in the morning, they're tucked up and nice and warm. And that's not the plan. And I couldn't think of a way to get them out and for them to be safe. I'm hopeful they'll be safe out here. I will weight it down, as I say, but I'm going to let them get wet and cold now to cool them off. They're really hot underneath because they need to be, I can't remember the temperature in centigrade we used to have the incubator at. I think it was at about 21 degrees. So, you know, you pick a broody up, they're really hot. The gold one was putting up a fight. She didn't want to come up. She was quite a job to hang on to. But I think the black one's sort of, I mean, it's been broody for 2 weeks. She's been broody for 2 weeks, so it looks like she's probably breaking, but she was heading off to her broody spot when we let them in just now. So they can't, well, they could sit down if they want, but they'd get wet bottoms. So that's going to get them cooled off. And I'm going to bring the trail camera out and set that up so I can watch overnight to make sure nothing is trying to get into the cage, because it's quite exposed. But if I weight it down with 2 or 3 logs, it should be okay. if the rain gets really heavy out of here, they've got enough headroom to be able to stand up more stand up straight and let the rain fall off their backs. So they should be okay. I'll obviously keep an eye on them, but I think 24 hours in here, on there, should do the trick. Especially for the black one. Not sure about the gold one. She might need longer. I can see them from here. I think they're totally confused. I just had a couple of hours ago our main meal. It was I bought in the organic shop the other day. I bought cordon bleu chicken. Do you remember those from the 80s? Chicken escalope wrapped around a bit of cheese with breadcrumbs on, so I thought I'd risk the breadcrumbs. I bought butter beans in the Hope shop the other day, and I bought a potato ricer, which I've only ever used once at somebody else's house. I'd never heard of them, and I thought that looks like easier to mash potatoes with a potato ricer. So I did mashed potato, butter beans, cordon bleu chicken, and it was very disappointing. It was very bland. Potatoes didn't have enough salt in them. Butter beans aren't how I remembered them as a kid. I loved butter beans when I was a kid. I don't know whether these were really butter beans. They just looked like really big haricot beans. And the cordon bleu were bland. Now, I don't have a great ability to taste. I lost that 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, it was just bland. And I left a third of it because I just thought, I'm not eating bland food. It's a waste of... And I used to eat food because I don't like wasting food, but I'm not prepared to waste my food intake on poor quality, disappointing food. So I left it, or a third of it, mostly the beans and some of the potato. I ate the cordon bleu. So that was disappointing. And I was thinking back to the meal that we had last night in the town. And I ordered, I don't often drink, but sometimes when we're out, I'll have a glass of red wine. And I wanted to order a glass of red wine, and she wanted to steer me away from the Chinon towards a Bordeaux or something else. I can't remember what the other one was. And she was sort of saying that the Chinon is more of a French taste in terms of wine, and whereas the others are easier, I think she was saying, on an English palate. And as it intrigued me, because I sort of stuck to my guns and said, well, no, my Chinon is the one I would buy if I were out. And it was nice. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I nearly had a second and then thought, no, I won't finish the second, so I didn't. But it was quite intriguing that my palate has changed living here. I don't enjoy many English foods in the way that I would have done years ago. I haven't had English sausages for a long time, and I know when I did have them a long time ago, I didn't like them. So yeah, and the chef is Scottish in this restaurant, and she's English, and the food was nice, but it didn't have that French feel to it. It obviously, because they're English, Scottish, British. He's a good chef, but it just didn't. It actually didn't do it for me. It was the steak was nicely seasoned, but as I said, it was not how I would expect a Saignon steak to be here in a French restaurant. So we've booked it to take the house sitters in there when they come, and I'm thinking that I'm going to say to Mark that I'd prefer to take them to Le Patisson, which is a restaurant we've been going to in Saint-Savin for 18 years. The food there is really nice, and it's French, and I think that the house sitters are coming to enjoy or experience France. So taking them to an English-owned restaurant is probably not giving them that experience, although they can go there if they want when we're not here. But I think I'd rather go in a pâtisson. I know that the food I get there will be more to my palate. So that interested me. The chinon was nice. I wanted a salad, and I'd specifically gone out hoping to have a Caesar salad. I wanted a salad, and that wasn't on the menu, but I mentioned to her, because she said, what about a starter? I said, no, I'll just have a main course because I wanted a salad. And she said, I'll see if he'll make you a mozzarella salad. And I went, oh, okay. And he did, and there was greenery with that. I realised I've got salady stuff at home, so that my supper will be salad. I don't buy tomatoes anymore. Just been really, I mean, it's the same every winter. Tomatoes aren't the same in winter. And interestingly, again, the tomato he served up, I had tomatoes obviously in the mozzarella caprese. I think it's a caprese salad. But they're tomatoes at the ripeness that the British people like. Whereas over here in France and in Spain and in Italy, the tomatoes are much riper and therefore more flavoursome. So there was a half-cooked tomato on my plate with the steak, which I just pushed to one side because I thought, well, it's not good. It doesn't do it for me. So I haven't been buying tomatoes because they've been going off before I've eaten them. They're probably not good tomatoes at this time of year or through the winter. So I haven't bought tomatoes. I've got cucumber, I've got spring onions, I've got lettuce, and I've got some olives, and I've got beetroot that may or may not be ready to be dumped. I'm not sure. I've got red pepper. So that's what I'll have tonight. And I've got some crisps. I can have some crisps. So that's me done. So they're out there still standing. Really not very happy. It's going to work. And I know that I'm going to have to do quite a full instruction list for the house sitters, how to recognise a broody, what things will you see when they're broody, what will you hear, how do they look, and give them the gauntlets. We're having to pick them up, the black one, we're having to pick up with gauntlets because she is aggressive. So yeah, so there we are, Breaking Broodies Part 2. And it's May Day, jour de travail, although nobody's travailling now. And in France, friends gift each other a sprig of lily of the valley, which is called something beginning with M, and I can never remember the name of it. And if I say it, I'll get it wrong. But yeah, so I've been in shops before where they've given you that as you've left, or something like that. So yeah, so I hope you're having a good bank holiday for those of you that are having one. I think in England, 1st of May is also a bank holiday. And see you soon. I'll just show you the chickens again. I'd have to do quite a bit of work to get that lower down on the tripod, but you get the gist. So I did the work. I'll tack this on at the end.